But coming up next, we've got one of our guest support races. It's the Mini 7 event. And talking us through it, it's going to be Paul O'Neill and David Addison.
Louise, thanks very much. This could be one of the highlights of the day, everybody. The Dunlop Mini 7 Challenge, supported by Mini Spares. And isn't car presentation fantastic? I am deeply indebted to the Hack family. There are 2 of these, and membership of the fan club has soared. We're in single figures. Another member is next to me, Paul O'Neill. This is going to be great fun, isn't it?
I can't wait for this. I'm gutted he's put Dave, though, because I know you hate that, mate. This is going to be exceptional, especially with yourself on lead comms, David. I'm really looking forward to this, mate.
Well, let's just get the admin out of the way first of all. There are 2 separate grids. You've got the Mini 7s, which are the 1 litre 100 horsepower cars, and then the slightly more standard 7Ss, which are at the back of the grid. They will go 20 seconds or so later. They are 1275cc engine cars, 90 horsepower, less modified. It's a real entry level into mini racing. But the net result is that these cars have the aerodynamic appeal of a brick. They will slipstream like crazy around here, and this is going to be fantastic. Things you do not want to do in a mini race: lead on the last lap at Thruxton, because all you're going to do is get slipstreamed by everybody else.
It isn't the place to be, is it? I've driven these cars in their different guises. They're a fantastic car, fantastic championship. This is going to be the best thing you've watched all day.
It is accountant Graham Davis then who starts on pole position. Joe Polly alongside with yesterday's race results with the top 8 reversed, giving us this grid. Darren Thomas starts 3rd ahead of then Damien Harrington. It is Spencer Wanstall 5th, and Ross Billison, a race winner this year, 6th. Conor O'Brien, the reigning champion, is 7th, and the redoubtable Mike Jordan, who won yesterday for his 4th of the season, is going to start 8th ahead of Andrew King and Jamie Payne. Stephen Hopper is on row 6 with retired judge, watch yourself O'Neill, Philip Gillibrand alongside. On the next row of the grid is race engineer Glenn Woodbridge, his dad Paul alongside. Then it's Joe Thompson, who was in dramas yesterday, double winner this year though. Tom Mills missing, I think, after an accident in yesterday's race. Then we get to the 7Ss, where GCSE student Kieran Edgecombe is on pole alongside Jack Vanner. Matthew Ayres, 3 times the winner, has Chris Pryor for company. There is damp-proofer Ben Butler on the 3rd row alongside Matthew Page. Then Jonathan Page and Fraser Hack, who won yesterday, twice a winner this year. Arnold Duncan is next alongside Dave Rees ahead of Ben Johnson and newcomer Kate Fraser-Kerr in only her 3rd race weekend. Then triple Mini-Melia champion Andy Hack comes next alongside Lee Pullman, Michael Winkworth and Giles Page round out the grid. Giles, somebody who went to Goodwood to watch racing, enjoyed watching minis, thought, I'd like to have a go at that, and there he is on the grid.
Absolutely love it. The best thing about that is you made that sound like England versus San Marino, and everyone's got a proper job, mate. So another David Addison fan club sticker there. The Hack family, fantastic, been a stalwart of this championship.
Absolutely. And they're in the 7S class, and from Andy Hack's point of view, he says it's just great fun. It's dad and lad racing. There is Fraser, who was 2nd over the line in class yesterday, but the man that was ahead of him skipped the chicane on the last lap, so urged on by dad, was up to race control, and a penalty was given, and Fraser took his 2nd victory of the season. When he's not racing minis, Fraser is a MG engine building specialist for Ocelli, and it's going to be, again, as much fun keeping an eye on the 2 different races as anything else, because the 7Ss will be just as frantic as the 7s. And Mike Jordan saying that this is just the best racing he's done. There are no egos in the paddock. It's great fun, and for somebody that started in a Morris Minor, it brings him back to his roots.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to see the Jordans here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, the great thing is every time I speak to Mike Jordan, if I see him on a test day, all he ever goes on about is this kind of racing. It's great to see. At the end of the day, this is why we went racing. We went to race to smile, and this kind of racing will make you smile.
If this doesn't put a smile on your face, you're watching the wrong programme, I tell you. Mini racing since 1966, when the Mini 7 Racing Club was formed. First race at Brands Hatch. It has been a mainstay of club racing ever since. National championships, winter championships, novice championships. So many of the faces in the Mini 7 Racing Club paddock have been there for decades. We'll see many of them again in the Mini-Melia race a little bit later on. It is just excellent fun, and you are in for a treat. It is a 20-minute race. The last few cars coming into place on the grid. Michael Winkworth, who was in damage yesterday, number 728, is the penultimate driver on the grid. Giles Page, the foreign exchange banker, then is the last man into position. Right, time for one deep breath as we are set to go racing. It is round 8 of the Dunlop Mini 7 Challenge, supported by Mini Spares. It is Graham Davis and Joe Polly on the front row as we go racing. little mini engines rev their what's-its off. Good start by Ross Billison, who absolutely dive bombs the opposition in the white car and goes from row 3 into the lead. Out of Allard they come for the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 abreast. Mike Jordan almost on the lawn there on the inside as they get up towards the complex for the first time. But Ross Billison it is then, after a demon getaway, who will lead. Everybody else tries to be second. You've got them up the curb, you've got them running wide, 3 abreast in the mid part of the complex. And as they wriggle their way up towards Seagrave, the 7S's have now blasted away as well. So there's a 20-second wait. Look over the hill. Is that a monster? Well, it's a monster gaggle of cars. And the leader is, shrug of shoulders, take your pick really, because you've got about 8 of them, all as one, squabbling their way through the complex. Great stuff.
Oh, I love that, and fantastic camera work there by ITV Sports, seeing them come over the hill. That was beautiful. Already got switchbacks on, and great start from everybody. But look how big the cars aren't on this track. If there's any track limits on this, this is a joke. Look at that, side by side, stunning through Noble, and coming now into some super high-speed stuff. They're 3 abreast.
So Fraser Hack in the yellow car, trying to go right round the outside there of Matthew Ayres, who's been a triple winner this year. You've got the 2 of them side by side. This is the 7s then at the head of the field as they all fan out across the road. Ross Billison has led for nearly a lap then, so he's had his turn. It's time for somebody else, I think, now, as they come into the braking area. Absolutely side by side. He's lost the race lead then as they scramble their way for the first time through the chicane. Look at this, nobody bouncing over the curb particularly. It's all controlled. And that's the first time they've touched the brake, really, since they set off.
And some good old blue smoke to go with it as well. And yeah, need some Red X for that engine maybe. Unbelievable. Look at that, round the outside. I mean, just pick a braking point and have a go.
Right, so it was Conor O'Brien leading in the 7s. He was 7th on the grid, so that was a pretty good first lap. The 7S's come through with the white and yellow car of Andy Hack in the middle of the pack. The leading 7S as they come across the line then is going to be Kieran Edgecombe there in number 721. Right up with him is Chris Pryor, the sign writer. 3rd in the class is Matthew Ayres. 4th in the yellow car, there it is Fraser Hack as they go up towards the complex. And which way does Hack go? Well, that's for the race lead in the 7S's. Chris Pryor to the outside line. Couldn't quite do it.
Nearly got it done, but I don't think it matters if you're side by side, because you're never going to keep that lead. Like you say, if you break the toe, it doesn't matter, because they'll all gang up on you again, and they're all over the place, and flat out through Noble is not what I would want to be doing. But look how skinny the tyres are. Hack round the outside. Is he going to get that done? Your emblem ablaze on the side, so that will definitely be a winner, mate.
It's definitely helping the aero, isn't it? Right, so Fraser Hack was on the inside at Noble in the yellow car. He's on the outside line. He gets lent on ever so slightly. They're absolutely on the ragged edge. And they all survive because they're so tiny, these little cars. They've got all the track space to play with. Right, this is back to the overall race lead. And it's Conor O'Brien who breaks ludicrously late, flicks the car into the chicane, and he's gapped them by about 3 mini lengths.
I mean, that is a lead and a half in a mini race, isn't it? Fair play to him. And Davis has dropped right off this, hasn't he? Absolutely off it. He started right at the front on the pole.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was helped though by that top 8 reversal. Jo Polly, from a great racing family, of course. Her father George, legendary national hot rod champion, and she raced minis in mini stock days. Worked a bit of contact there. That was Chris Pryor being savaged. Fraser Hack has fallen back into 4th place as they come out of the chicane now. But look, I mean, that's all of them in one line. Anybody out of that group could win the class as they come pouring past the pits. And this time around, the 7S part of the race is being led by Matthew Page. We've got one there looking a little bit graunched going through. So that was Arnold Duncan's car with a bit of frontal damage. But hey, we've still got 16 minutes to go.
And all the cars are still going. Oh, that was a big lunge on the outside. Gets it slowed down. Hack down the inside, gets that done. Is it all over yet? No, it's not all over. Why did I even think it was going to be all over yet? Hack is still there. Oh, and as I say it, one of them is out. That is a nightmare.
Yeah, big disappointment then. Car pushed down the pit lane. So out of the race, sad to say, as the field, still with the damage though, the rather gaunt car of Arnold Duncan not showing any real dramas. Darren Thomas it is that's the one that we've lost. Right, Ross Billison, he's back in the lead, but for how much longer then? Remember, he started on the 3rd row of the grid. Coming up to have a go at him is Conor O'Brien. There's Mike Jordan then in 3rd place. Look, number 88. So 4 for the race lead, effectively, with Spencer Wanstall, the TV advertising planner, next in the queue as they come through. Then another long gaggle of cars being headed, look, by Glenn Woodbridge up from the 7th row of the grid. right on his tail is Joe Thompson, double winner this year, so the red and white car is another one that should be making progress.
Yeah, and you can see these cars, when they went through the chicane, the dampers on the cars are so advanced, it's amazing. And look at this, Hack is, if he looks in his mirrors, he's going to be scared. Pryor, down the inside again, you can't keep these two apart, unbelievable. And I don't know where to look next.
Fantastic racing, isn't it? And this just goes on for corner after corner after corner. Over the timing line then, we've had Stephen Hopper in strife into the pit lane. The leading 7S then is still Matthew Page, but he's got Fraser Hack going after him, but Hack in turn is coming under pressure from Chris Pryor. Right, replay here. Conor O'Brien, the leader, launches himself over the curb. Mike Jordan gets a bit of hip and shoulder then from Spencer Wanstall, and Mike comes back at him on the inside and says, I used to race touring cars, you know. Gets his elbows out. Take that, Spencer.
Oh my word, I don't think Mike was too happy about the first bit of contact. Straightened his wheel up and said, have some of that back, Captain. But they're all still going, close quarters racing, and I'm sure there'll be a little and laughing a bit of a beer later on tonight over that one.
So the 7S category, more battles rage on. So the field streaming its way out of Noble. And in underpowered cars like this, it's all about momentum, isn't it? But right at the front of the field, Conor O'Brien, the reigning champion, Ross Billison, the electrician, right on his tail. He's had one win this season. Conor O'Brien, the reigning champion, race preparation expert. Mike Jordan is there in third. In fourth is Spencer Wanstall, and then it's everybody else for fifth, with now effectively Joe Thompson, the best of the rest. He's got himself up and past Glenn Woodbridge.
Wow, well, Mike Jordan lost out there a bit, to be fair, in P3, because he just had the fastest lap, which he still has a 36.2, so he's looking super fast. And we go back to Hack and Pryor, and there's all sorts happening. Look at the wheel cocked up in there. There's a good 8 inches in the air, that thing. How's he got it turned in? This is ridiculous.
No wonder you can make a set of tyres last, because you don't use all 4 at any one point, do you? There's always one in the air. Over the line then comes Fraser Hack. The old man's chasing. Look, the white car of Andy Hack, his father, getting closer all the time. It's still Matthew Page, Fraser Hack, then Matthew Ayres, and Andy Hack the top 4. So Hack Senior goes through Allard. They're just, I was going to say, starting to edge away, but I might be being a bit keen in saying that, because they'll all slipstream together again at the next corner.
They'll definitely be catching each other up, but I haven't seen a lap where they've been line astern yet. It's all side-by-side stuff, and Pryor always seems to be right in it. Mike Jordan is back in the mix. This is game on.
Right, OK, you've had your playtime, chaps. Here I come. So he's up to third. He's dropped Spencer Wanstall for the moment. Conor O'Brien is the race leader. Now, I know that Mike rates Conor as a driver, and Mike getting closer and closer to that leading gaggle all the time. Sits in the slipstream. All about gearing at this part of the circuit, so the drivers will tell you. Mike's in the draft, goes one side, goes the other. There are still 12 minutes of the race to go as he comes up on the outside line. We told you it was going to be good. Right, when do you throw out the anchor? About now. Flip the car in, he's done it. Right round the outside goes Mike Jordan. Fantastic.
Oh, that is proper Mike Jordan stuff. That's like Andy Jordan, that was. That is absolutely amazing. Round the outside. Got it, 4-wheel drifted through the chicane. Stunning and beautiful stuff. I'm loving this. I haven't seen any brake lights yet. Oh,
it's a smoke.
Oh, some smoke. Yeah, that was a big sideways, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the car of Philip Gillibrand, the retired judge. Guilty. Right, Andy Hack has got some damage. Oh, he needs a big sticker, I think, to hold that down. I just happen to have a spare. Down he comes to the chicane then. Has he had a moment somewhere? Because it's looking a bit doggy at that, isn't it?
That I don't know if that's contact, but that could be something failing on the front. Oh, he's pulling away. Oh, I hope there's no oil down, because he's pulled away very quickly. He's probably seen that bonnet was going to come up.
I think, in fairness, he has very selflessly sacrificed his race to go on a recruitment drive for the club that he's supporting there.
Did you tell him to park right there so we could see your mug for the last stage of the race?
Andy Jordan's father, Mike Jordan, it is in the lead of the race ahead of Conor O'Brien. He's done the fastest lap, and now Mike has put himself up front. We're not even at halfway. Fantastic racing this, and this is what the Mini 7 Racing Club delivers weekend after weekend. It's a lap charter's nightmare, because it changes on every corner of every lap. So Mike Jordan now leads, so he's just worked out where everybody else is strong and weak. He knows where he has got a strength over them. He can factor that away, but he doesn't want to sit there for 10.5 more minutes for fear of being slipstreamed at the end.
Not at all, but look at that. The number 1 car, O'Brien, is looking to go around the outside. Mike is so good on the brakes. He just gaps everybody at the chicane, backs it in like a motorcycle race, like a BSB race. Look at his cool little glasses he's got on. He sits so low, but he gets a not a brilliant exit. And yeah, he's gonna struggle here to keep in front, but I think he's going to win this.
It was in Porsches that Mike really made his name a long time ago, both as a racer and as a preparer. and he's raced all sorts of things, whether it's GT cars in Britain or the FIA GT Championship, British Touring cars. He's been a leading light in historics for many, many seasons. But this, for him and Andrew, is their racing. No customers. This is when they go racing and enjoy themselves. Right, in the 7Ss, how many are we abreast this time? About 3 coming up towards the chicane. The class led last time by Fraser Hack in the yellow car. He put himself into the lead and whoops up the curve there as they scrabble out of the chicane. 7:21, that was Kieran Edgecombe, who started on pole and led early on, but he's now fallen back rather. The GCSE student has tumbled down the order. Mike Jordan has led now for a complete lap.
Oh, that's a world record, is it not? That's absolutely ridiculous. It's like watching the intro to the Sweeney. This is absolutely amazing stuff. Loving it. Mike has done it. To lead a whole lap, that is pretty special stuff in this.
But Conor O'Brien is now right in his wheel tracks, and Ross Billison is right there as well. Spencer Wanstall has dropped back a length or so, perhaps just biding his time, working out when he might be able to have another push. Spencer is another very accomplished Mini 7 racer, so don't rule him out. He knows exactly when to hold and when to fold. Up Woodham Hill they come towards the chicane, and is this where Conor O'Brien makes a move to the outside line? He's thinking about it, but Mike Jordan's got all the answers.
It's unreal. Mike is so strong on the brakes, but look how he flicks it in.
Yeah.
The cars oversteer and they move around, but he seems to get the momentum out. Look at the exit he's made. That is proper special stuff. How old's Mike now?
Well, he calls himself a pensioner, doesn't he? So a youthful 60-something. Over the line he goes, and that time around he had an absolutely enormous lead of 0.3 of a second.
Unbelievable. This is proper stuff, and he's not even being helped by a battle from behind. He is just driving it amazingly. Is that a big lunge? Locks a left rear. Mike would have been having kittens in that little mirror he was looking at then, but it's all status quo again. But this isn't over. This is definitely not over.
It is almost 4 for the lead again, isn't it? Spencer Wanstall is closing back up onto the quick-starting Ross Billison. I mean, that was a mega getaway that Ross Billison made, but Spencer Wanstall is closing in on him. Conor O'Brien sitting in the wheel tracks. I think Conor would admit he's learnt a lot from Mike Jordan, having raced against him for the last couple of seasons. Now he can put it all into practice. He thinks about the outside, but you've got to be brave to try here.
You have, and I'll tell you what he will get. He'll get a really good toe on the exit of Goodwood now, and he will definitely try to get a fantastic exit onto the back straight to the club chicane. That's a mega move.
And that is the leading quartet in the 7Ss. I think I last told you Fraser Hack was in the lead. Well, he's dropped back into 4th place. 7.5 minutes to go as they've all shuffled their way through. It was Jonathan Page, Matthew Ayres, Fraser Hack, the top 4 in any given order last time around. Hack on the outside line, trying to get himself up alongside 7.03 of Matthew Page. These are the leading 7s making their way to the chicane. Conor O'Brien for the inside, possibly, Paul.
Oh, wow. I tell you what, Mike Jordan's going to win this race on the brakes. I've never seen anyone brake so much. Oh, contact! He wants it, and he wants it bad. And look now, Jordan has just straightened the wheel and gone, cheers, mate. They'll probably give him the thumbs up and go, see you later on. But that now has lost him 2nd place.
Yeah, Ross Billison in the white car. Look up on the inside line. Spencer Wanstall in the red car tries to go with them. Absolutely sideways through Alon. And yeah, Conor O'Brien is the one that's really had his hat nailed on there. He's dropped 1 place, possibly 2. Or has he? Because he fights back coming out of green up towards the complex. All of that's letting Jordan get away.
What is this wizardry? I mean, he should be 58th after losing that much momentum. Get back in that toe and you're having him. Hack's in it.
And he's back in the lead of the class, isn't he then? So Fraser Hack 4th, halfway around the lap, back into the lead. Dad cheering him on, no doubt, as he comes past the Elman stricken car. But Fraser Hack is back into the lead of the 7Ss. I told you this was going to be as good as the 7s.
You did, mate. I'll give you that. This is proper stuff. And I mean, who said motor racing can be a procession? This is proper.
If you've never seen mini racing before, then tell me that this isn't entertaining. This is just great stuff. It's proper club racing. And look, the respect that they give each other, there's no silliness. We've hardly had anything about track limits in this race. It's proper racing. Fraser Hack then hangs on to the lead in the 7S category, and then up into 2nd place now as they wriggle their way out of the complex. Well, it could be anybody. But the order continues to shuffle its way around, doesn't it?
They're really close here. It's so difficult. You know, these cars are so low to the floor, but Mike Jordan has got his work cut out. This is a big attack, but still, again, he's got his lights on. He just wants to get through the chicane. He's so good in the chicane, but he just can't get near him on the brakes.
The one that's slightly of a question mark is Spencer Wanstall, who perhaps benefits when they hold each other up and toes himself forward, but doesn't then have the pace to stay with them. Leaders go by. Conor O'Brien, you're right about this wizardry. There he is back into second place, and he's having another go at Mike Jordan for the lead.
Yeah, and again, it's not over, and there we go again. Oh, we're going to get hack burnt into our screens here, aren't we? When we turn them off at night, there's still be hack emblazoned on the front of this LCD. He's just everywhere.
So it was Matthew Ayres that had got himself up into second, now into the lead. Fraser Hack comes back at him on the inside line in the yellow car. Can't squeeze up the inside, but a completely sideways Matthew Ayres flings it into the chicane. Brilliant.
Oh, that's made my day. That is proper stuff. The air underneath that right rear. It was, if that was me, I'd have just gone, right, okay, it's yours, it's not mine now. That was proper stuff. Watch this. It wasn't even the curb that set him off. Oh, Martin Shanker. Oh, that was proper stuff. Really, really good car control.
Fantastic racing. Right, you keep talking. I'm going to ring Alan Gow and ask him to hide the checkered flag, because this is fantastic.
Yeah, get rid of that second touring car race. We want more of these.
3 for the lead. Mike Jordan leads. Conor O'Brien, Ross Billison in third place. So Mike Jordan, who's one of the older drivers on the grid, keeping these whippersnappers at bay. And again, look, he's a sitting duck in terms of the toe, but he's covered off that inside line. So to the outside they both go, but they then can't level with him.
He's just the bravest person ever through church, and then so late on the brakes, and he backs it in. If you watch a British Superbike race, they back the tyre in, and he just does that, but gets it so straight on the exit. The 88 is flying. Love those glasses. It looks like that's a fly driving with an orange helmet on.
The Nick Swift tuned engine working overtime as well as he comes through. Great variety of preparers. Paul Lynch, another one. You can see lots of his cars there, and up the curve. Ooh, clattering off the curve there goes 29, which is Damien Harrington. He's got Glenn Woodbridge behind him as they come through. Right, Fraser Hack is back into the lead of the 7Ss, but for how much longer, who knows? Matthew Ayres is right there behind him. This is where Fraser's got to sort of grow in width, or the car has, or he's got to stick out his elbows and keep them at bay.
Come on, Fraser, let's have it, mate. Let's have it. How late are you going to brake? And that is how late he's going to brake. Still gets to the apex, gets the car straightened up again, but every time you look in your mirror, you think, oh, I've got a good exit, and then you look and there's 58 cars right in your rear.
It must be an incredibly long 20 minutes inside the car, especially when you're hanging on to it, because, as we said earlier on, for much of the lap you don't brake, and that's Conor O'Brien out of the race from second place. Conor O'Brien in strife. Something, I fear, has gone pop, and that's a real shame after a great drive.
Oh, what a shame. And you've seen a thumbs up from the marshal. That's just saying the driver said he's okay to us, but such a shame, because that was a battle, brilliant battle.
Well, it does now give Ross Billison the chance to go after Mike Jordan without having to fight anybody else, so let's see how it pans out. Fraser Hack, in the meantime, has decided he's had enough of playing for the lead here with Matthew Ayres. He wants to get away, but good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. But look at the side-by-side around here, the toe, everything is just exceptional, and that is church, and that is scary.
The red and white car is that of Joe Thompson, who had problems yesterday and is struggling to make forward progress, really. Graham Davis in the yellow car. Joe Polly, partner of former touring car racer Jeff Smith, who we'll see in the Mini Amelia race. She comes up on the outside line. The leaders have gone by with just under 4 tenths between them. Graham Davis leans on Joe Polly, a very ungallant, into the chicane. Joe came from the school of hard knocks in mini stocks and goes back through.
Chivalry is not dead. Fantastic. That was proper stuff. Fair play, Joe. She just kept it lit and was like, nah, mate, you're not having that. This will be close now as they turn into Allard.
They breed them tough in oval racing, don't they? So, Joe Polly on the outside line. Graham Davis, the accountant who's been a mainstay of Mini 7 racing for about 2 decades, right there alongside. Fantastic battle. They are squabbling for 7th and 8th in the 7 class. Further up the road, there's Damien Harrington, there's Glenn Woodbridge, and there is Joe Thompson, and Joe Polly goes back through on the inside.
Wow, look, she's just got a bit of the bottom of the car hanging off. It's only a bit of plastic. I think that is actually the wheel arch, isn't it? So, yeah, she'll be going even quicker if she gets rid of that. But he's coming back. Close your eyes, Joe. He's coming.
To the outside line at Noble goes Graham Davis. But Joe Polly is brave and fends him off. Up the road, Harrington just ahead of Woodbridge, ahead of Thompson. To the inside line goes Graham Davis. There's going to be one more lap at the end of this. There's just time for one more lap as Graham Davis goes through bits of Joe Polly's car fly. Don't need that again.
What a Tim Harvey's eyebrows goes flying over the top of the car. She's not having this, mate. She's not having this. If you overtake him at church, I'm coming to... No, I was going to say that was a bit brave, that. It's going to get done, though.
Yeah, I think you're right before the end. One more lap to run then. Damien Harrington's green car heads up Woodham Hill then. so he presses on, and onto the last lap goes Mike Jordan. He has got a narrow gap of half a second. Oh, 3 abreast on the inside line is Damien Harrington. In the middle is Glenn Woodbridge. Another ex-oval racer came from Superstock. There's contact. He's all sideways. Go on, Glenn. Hang on to it. He's all over the grass. Loses 1, loses 2 places. Save of the day. He's pointing in the right direction. Wow.
That was 100 horsepower, got that straight again. That is unreal, unbelievable. And that was only a little bit of contact, and it so unloaded the car. It's a bit of a nightmare. That was good, though. They both get going.
Now, what's gone on here, Fraser Hack? You've dropped to 4th place. It is Matthew Ayres in the grey car on the outside line, completely sideways. He's got the lead. He's locked up. They're going left, they're going right, they're going everywhere. Out of the chicane they come. Fraser Hack on the outside line is suddenly second. And as they come over the timing line to go on to the last lap in the 7S's, it is Jonathan Page in the lead of the class-ish from Chris Pryor.
Oh, it's like Keystone Cops. That was a proper moment that I couldn't look at the screen. What is that about?
Oh, right, where do we go next then? Well, this is fantastic. We've got the overall race leaders heading up towards the chicane as Matthew Ayres gets it all sideways. Jonathan Page is leading from Chris Pryor. Fraser Hack is 4th. These are the race leaders then coming up to the chicane for the last time. Mike Jordan, I think, has just about done enough, but Ross Billison is coming. Then he tries to close right up into the chicane for the last time, but surely he can't get the drive out the other side. Mike Jordan it is, who is going to come through for a 5th victory in the season, but there's a bit of smoke out of the back of the car, I think. Mike Jordan is going to hang on to win. Well done, Mike Jordan. Ross Billison will be 2nd. Spencer Wanstall is 3rd. But then we're not done yet, because the 7S's, Paul, are still at play.
They're still having it, and this is where they'll be trying to get out of each other and get in the toe, ready to attack at the chicane. I think there's going to be an outside manoeuvre at the chicane, but this is the final corner, and this is your time to shine, David.
Right, there's a marshal with a yellow flag in his hand, rather pessimistically. Here they come then up Woodham Hill. It is just in the lead of the class then, Jonathan Page, but can he hang on in there? It's like a rolling start. They go pairing off then. Chris Pryor gets between them. They're 3 abreast. There's no real opportunity to Fraser Hack to make a move, or is there? Because he comes up on the inside line. It is going to be Jonathan Page that leads. All sideways is Chris Pryor all over the grass. Fraser Hack gets himself into 3rd. Chris Pryor's going to be 2nd. Jonathan Page is going to be the winning 7S driver. Across the line they come, and TSL, the timekeeping team, say Jonathan Page, Chris Pryor, Matthew Ayres. Then next up I think was Ben Butler, who arrived out of nowhere. Fraser Hack in the end got mugged down to 5th. Was not that the best 20 minutes of racing we've had for a long, long time? Look at this, Paul.
This was exceptional. Look at that all the way around the outside. I thought that is done, but no. And a massive Scandi flick as the weight just went to the front of the car. That was, and they didn't touch each other, did they? Look at that. That's like dancing on ice. Pryor across the bows of Hack, one way and then the other. That was the best 20 minutes I have ever had, honestly.
And Andrew Jordan's pretty impressed with his dad. That made good television, Andrew, didn't it? You've got to uphold the family honour. They had a win each yesterday. In the background, Nick Swift being congratulated, engine builder par excellence. And then they looked back to see the rest of the competitors come across the line, and it was that next scrum. Oh, right. Might have to sit down after that.
Mate, we're both sweating in the comms box. Wow. Even the sound man Martin's sweating listening to us. That was great. I tell you, I've got to say, Mike Jordan, when I was growing up, you were a hero to me, mate, and you still are. That was beautiful.
Wonderful racing, and Mike Jordan has done it again. And if you think that the fans have enjoyed themselves, so will the people in the cars, no question. Mike Jordan wins round 8 of the Dunlop Mini 7 Challenge from Ross Billison and Spencer Wanstall. Joe Thompson 4th ahead of Damien Harrington. Glenn Woodbridge was 6th ahead of Joe Polly and Graham Davis. Woodbridge Senior, Paul Woodbridge, was 9th, and then 10th overall, the winning 7S of Jonathan Page. 2nd in the class was Chris Pryor. Matthew Ayres was 3rd. Then it was Ben Butler from Fraser Hack. Lee Pullman was next from Matthew Page. Arnold Duncan's rather battered car, Jack Vanner, fended off Giles Page, and Kieran Edgecombe, who was on pole in the class, came home 20th overall. Andrew King was next ahead of Dave Rees and Jamie Payne, and Philip Gillibrand was next. Ben Johnson was a lap down, so was Kate Fraser-Kerr. We lost Conor O'Brien and Michael Winkworth, we lost Andrew Hack, and we lost Stephen Hopper. But we had a fantastic race. Darren Thomas was another early retirement. So the drivers into the pit lane, and once he's got his breath back, Mike Jordan can reflect on what was a stunning race right after the break.
Huge entertainment as promised from the 2 grids of the Mini 7 Challenge here at Thruxton. From all the frantic action, though, there are moments of proper class, especially from Mike Jordan, who took the overall win when Conor O'Brien dropped out. So Jordan from Billison and Spencer Worrell. 7S's battle was a lot more frantic. Jonathan Page somehow nicked it from Chris Pryor and was absolutely delighted. Louise can make sense of it all.
How exciting was that to watch? And Mike, this is like old times, interviewing Mike Jordan in Parc Ferme after a race. But I have to say, you've just come back in, as has everybody else, with the biggest smile on your face after that.
It always is driving these cars. You know, it's intensely competitive as you could ever want. The speed of the cars doesn't really matter. They've only got 100 horsepower. I mean, my Swift-Tune engine in there's probably got 102, which is better than everybody else's. He's done a great job, but it's such good fun. And obviously, this is the race you wanted to win all year. So we've been having a good year, but this was the one you wanted to win.
I mean, for us, it was spectacular to watch, but the cars looked like such fun to drive. That move that got you into the lead, you kind of backed the cars up behind you and kind of drifted it through the chicane.
Yeah, you've got to sort of try and on these historic tyres that they're on, they're sliding sideways everywhere. They're actually more fun to drive. The Miglias are faster, you know, Andy's Miglia is faster than this, but they're not as much fun to drive. These just sort of slide sideways all around the back. So you've got to try and time your toe and drop back a little bit to run onto them. So it gets the old brain going a bit.
You mentioned Andy, we're going to see him out racing later on. Obviously, your business is preparing race cars, but when you come to these mini races, it's just pure fun for you guys, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. When Andrew stopped doing touring cars, he bought himself a Mini Miglia, which is what he'd always wanted to do, and did a year in that. Then he bought me this one as a present, which was an old car. This is raced for 25 years. It's been a Mini 7 race car, so we had to restore it. And this was always going to be us coming and racing, having fun. And we got a good bit of sponsorship from Revive and Pete Chambers that used to back us in touring cars. They all come along and have some fun as well. So it's just a super thing to do.
25 years, that's almost as long as you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm a pensioner now, so that's all right.
Well, you've still got it, mate. You haven't lost it. And let's go to the youngster, our winner in the S-Class. Jonathan, you know, I was just saying to Mike, this racing, it looks like you're all having such good fun out there. I mean, it was anybody for the lead throughout that race for you guys, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So, I mean, 4 or 5 cars for the lead, and the racing at this level, because there's no power in the cars, we've basically got no grip. It's brilliant, and you can only race that close with people that you fully trust, because we're literally millimeters apart the whole way. And it's what an amazing club, and what a race to be a part of, and what a race to be on the top step for. So.
And as you say, club. This is clubman racing, but there is a good level. You've got people, total beginners, but people who've been around forever, and everybody's exhibiting really good race skills.
Yeah, exactly. So for you to be interviewing Mike Jordan before me is a bit surreal. So yeah, no, it's amazing.
So what's next? Are you out again later on?
Next up's Zandvoort, so over to Holland for that. 3 rounds there, and then the rest of the season. So it should be really good. But yeah, before we go, I just want to say thanks to all the Page 3 Racing gang, Mondo Sport for prepping the car, Swift-Tune for the engines, Nick Padmore for all the driving coaching. Couldn't do it without all those guys.
Well done, and have fun in Zandvoort. It's mad out there. I can speak from experience. Right.